Hi, and thank you for joining us today. Today, we have what we think is a hot topic on using herbs for hormone balancing. I know for me, I'll have someone reach out to me in a DM, or people have my phone number and they'll text me and say, I need to talk to you about herbs. Just haven't been feeling well, or my hormones are all out of balance, and I just need to know what herbs I should take. So, Daniel, do you get this
Oh,
question?
all the time, Daniel, hey, I got this problem. What herb do you recommend? And it's like, I'm thinking, well, because a lot of people, especially in our country, we're indoctrinated in the medical system. So if you go to the doctor, you got high blood pressure, they'll give you a blood pressure drug. If you got high blood sugar, they'll give you a drug for your blood sugar. So a lot of people, they look at herbology the same way, and that's not exactly how it works on our side.
No, it's not. It's like going to CVS and picking up something in the cough vial because you have a cough. It doesn't fix the cough. It may soothe your cough, but it doesn't get
Yeah.
to why you're coughing. It's not healing you or
Mhm.
anything like that. It's for me, it's very frustrating. And it goes to the pill for very ill, the pill for every ill.
Mhm.
There's so many people who they just want something. And there's doctors who, like, if you went to the doctor, you're feeling miserable, you go to the doctor, they tell you, oh, it's just a virus. There's really nothing you can do. Just go home and rest, get lots of sleep, drink lots of water. There are people who will leave all upset that their doctor didn't give them anything.
Uh-huh.
Truth of the matter is it's a virus. You just have to aid the body in fighting it. You don't need a prescription for that, but people get upset. If the doctor gives them an antibiotic, they go, oh, I have to take this antibiotic. They go home and they take the antibiotic. Do they get better any faster? No. Does it affect their gut taking the antibiotic? Yes. And so you can see there's this whole cycle, this whole system here where for some reason we think we have to take something to feel better, reverse something. And the same thing with our herbs. So someone comes to me because their hormones are out of balance. Well, hello, we have hundreds of hormones. And so telling me your hormones are out of balance is a little confusing. So we need to get to, why do you think your hormones are out of balance? Where are you getting this? And then we have to figure out why your hormones are out of balance. We don't want to just throw an herb at it.
Yeah, I mean the way what you're talking about with the antibiotics I was hearing that one of the reasons our country's really bad about that because of all of the pharmaceutical commercials. I mean, you can watch any TV program, you're going to get commercials about pharmaceutical drugs. And even some of the doctors are complaining about this because doctors say people come to me and ask for this drug they saw on TV.
Right,
I'm like, why do you think you need that? You know?
right, right, right.
And then, I mean, I've
Yeah.
had people, I took this drug for whatever. It didn't make me feel good. So I want to know if you have a herb that does the same thing that drug was trying to do, but I want to take herb so maybe it won't make me feel as bad. It's just the system of people, they want a quick fix. And there is no such thing in this life. Anything worthwhile in this life, there's not a quick fix for. There just isn't.
Right, right. And replacing an herb for something is still doesn't get to why you need something to begin with. Yeah, so maybe your side effects may be better, but let's figure it out. If you're taking a blood pressure medicine and you want to switch to an herb for blood pressure, well, the herbs do have vitamins and minerals, and that may be a better option for your blood pressure, but why don't we go through and figure out why you have high blood pressure? So you don't need prescription and you don't need the herbs. And another thing, we don't want anyone to go off their prescriptions and take an herb. You have to work with the medical provider. We are
Oh
definitely
yeah.
not telling anyone go off of this to take this because we can tell you about different herbs, but prescriptions they can be really hard on your body, and if you suddenly go off of it because it is a chemical, other chemicals involved, it can really it could be dangerous to go off your prescriptions. So don't do that without the assistance of a medical provider. However, there are herbs that can replace it. But our point today is you've really got to figure out why you are out of balance.
Yes, and that's why we go back to from the school of natural healing. We always the motto was cleanse and nourish the body.
Yes. Yes. So if someone comes to you and says, I need help balancing my hormones, I want to know about herbs because I need to balance my hormones. What's the first thing that you do?
Well, the first thing I do, I want to look at their diet because I'd rather put somebody on a healthy diet and not even worry about herbs because diet is the backbone. You know?
Yeah, herbs are food.
Yeah.
Herbs are food. And so, yes, I do the same thing. So I first I want them to write down everything they eat for 3 days because I want to see trends too. I want to see not only what are they eating, but when are they eating as well. You know, are you eating 6 meals a day? Are you eating 3 meals a day, 2 meals a day? Are you eating, late at night? Are you snacking before bed? I want to know all the things. Are you restricting? Have you been trying to lose weight for 20 years and you're eating 500 calories every day, trying to keep your weight down?
There's so many things people could be doing that they don't even know are is harmful to them. Like, how are you sleeping? Are you drinking enough water? Are you just stressed out every moment of every day? All these things affect your total health. I mean, your overall health. There's so many factors. You could be eating a great diet, but if you're so stressed out you can't sleep, then good luck.
Right, right. And resting,
Oh yeah.
resting. Are you resting? Are you taking time off? I'm guilty of that myself.
Oh yeah, we all are.
Are you taking time out for yourself? Are you resting? Are you sleeping? Are you doing things that are fun? Are you getting exercise? And so it's not just the diet either.
Yep.
Yeah, we have to look at all the things. And I love that you said hydration because that's
Oh,
huge.
I know.
That is huge. And it's funny because all of these things that we're talking about help with hormone balancing. They help with the sex hormones. They help with the neurotransmitters. They also help with blood sugar balancing. They help with um, intestinal permeability or leaky gut. And it's the same system that helps with the whole body. And so you don't have to go, oh, wait, well, this person has a heart condition, so we need to do this. No, we have to make sure, are they sleeping? Are they resting? Are they drinking plenty of water? And then we can start incorporating different herbs depending on which hormone is out of balance.
Yeah. I mean, it seems complicated. I mean, it's not, it seems complicated, but if you start to look at it, it's not that complicated. It's just good lifestyle practices that most of us, even me, and I'm sure you too, Jennifer, sometimes I know I have days like, man, today I didn't live like I would tell a client to live because I went to bed too early. I didn't drink enough water. I didn't exercise because I felt lazy. And I'm stressed. I had anxiety today and I couldn't calm down, you know. So
Right.
nobody's perfect, but
No.
it's what you do at least 90% of the time that's going to get your results,
Exactly. One of my biggest peeves is everything in moderation. Um,
Uh,
because that can really get you into trouble. If it depends on what your moderation is. If moderation is only one donut a day instead of a box, or maybe moderation is a donut every other day, or maybe moderation is a donut only on Sundays, or it's not defined. And so I like that you said 90% of the time, which sometimes that's kind of hard to monitor as well.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, how do I decide, is this only 10%? You know,
It is hard. I mean, the thing, what I would really like to see is all of the time, but I know some people, if you say that at first, it
it's too
kind of,
stringent.
yeah, they're
Mhm.
like,
Yeah. Yeah. And I totally agree. And, I like to have different things, like birthdays and celebrations and things like that. I typically don't use sugar, any added sugar in my day, but I will add some maple syrup to something, occasionally, stuff like that. So while I say no sugar, I do add maple syrup to things sometimes, but not all day long,
No.
and not to different things. It's just occasionally.
Yeah.
Now I know for me, I've been eating this way for so long. For someone just starting out, eating fast food 3 times a day, that's a huge change. And
Oh
so
yeah.
we always have to start where you are. Start where you are and not expect major change. Progress over perfection.
Yes.
Because if you try to be perfect, then you're adding stress, and that's going to undo all of your hard work as well too. So I know our listeners love to hear about herbs. So let's talk about herbs when we are working with someone. We want to bring them into balance. So I think that the adrenals have a lot to do with most of our hormonal imbalance. I think that that's a key thing. And for me, when I'm working with herbs and someone that we're bringing, we're checking, they're drinking the water, they're getting the sleep, they're working on their diet, they're gluten free, they're dairy free, they're not eating the inflammatory meats, they're not cooking in oils anymore, but they still are out of balance. I do like to include things like adaptogens.
Mm-hmm.
And so I will start looking at adaptogens. Now, a lot of people will look at adaptogens and they'll just take all the adaptogens or just randomly grab adaptogens. But I also think, for those of you who don't know, adaptogens are herbs that help to balance things. Holly, I think of Dr. Christopher saying thinking herbs. They just help to modulate the body. So some adaptogens include like cordyceps, which is wonderful for energy and for the mind. Ashwagandha, which is very calming. It's actually wonderful for helping the thyroid hormones. I can't think of the word. Change T3 converting T4 converting to T3. It helps with that change in there with the thyroid. So, but ashwagandha is a nightshade, and so that's why I think it's important that we don't just grab randomly a bunch of adaptogens and take a bunch. We hear about superfoods and adaptogens, and these are great things to take, but you want to know about them before you take them. So ashwagandha can be fabulous for someone who's working on balancing their thyroid hormones. But if you have issues with nightshades, it might not be right for you. And the mushrooms, if you have problems with a yeast overgrowth or SIBO, mushrooms are great adaptogen, but they may not be right for you until you get the SIBO under control. Now, that's kind of controversial. Some people think mushrooms are fine if you're dealing with SIBO, but some people say no mushrooms at all. Eleuthero is another adaptogen that's very energizing without being stimulating, no caffeine, but it also helps to modulate the hormones. But like for me, eleuthero is also called Siberian ginseng. For me, it makes me a little too energized. I have trouble sleeping if I take it. Anyway, what suggestions do you have, Daniel?
Yeah, I think you're right. A lot of people they'll be on a ton of herbs, and if you're on a ton of herbs, I don't know. You don't know what's working for you, or I like to start out with single herbs, as far as if you're trying to balance your adrenal glands. Let's just try one to start and just see. Give it a few weeks, see how that starts to, if it helps you or not. And like you're saying with ginseng, if you can't go to sleep at night, it may be something to take. I have my father-in-law, he's into a lot of supplements too. This man is on so many different things. And look, I probably take too many things too at certain times of the year, but it's just there's no way to tell how things are affecting you when you're taking like 20 different herbs. I just, it's just I
Yes.
like I said, I like to get all the well, we just said that, like to get all the get you're saying after we get all the lifestyle things in balance. Yeah. I don't know. I kind of lost my train of thought, Jennifer.
Yeah, so we want to get everything back into balance
Yes.
as naturally as possible
Yes.
first. Yes, making sure that they're meeting all of their basic needs.
Hmm.
Because if we're not eating enough calories, that's what the example I talked about with someone who's only eating 500 calories a day. That can be doable for someone who's doing a fasting mimicking diet once a month or once every 3 months.
Yeah.
But it can't be something that's done every day because your body requires different nutrients, and there's no possible way to get all the nutrients that you need on just 500 calories a day. And it adds too much stress in your body. Your body starts thinking, hey, we're going to starve to death. And so then it starts conserving, it's creating lots and lots of oxidative stress. It can be very, very dangerous on the body. And so, in addition to the water and the sleep and the rest, we need to make sure that you're getting in all of the nutrients you need to help with balancing. Like, not only do you need these certain um, things, we have to make sure you have all the cofactors. And so, like, we talk about different hormones, but each hormone needs something. Like, most of your hormones need magnesium and zinc and your B vitamins just to help transform. But we don't want you going out and taking magnesium and zinc. Number one, they build up in the body. They are not eliminated. We go back and listen to our podcast on supplements. We don't want to take magnesium and zinc in a supplemental form because it can get stored in our joints and our muscles and cause inflammation and pain, arthritis. And so we want to get those from our foods. But if we're only eating we're restricting our diet, there's just not a way to get in enough food to meet those needs. Now, the B vitamins we need to eat every day because they are eliminated in the body. That's a water soluble vitamin. But it's another one that we don't want to get from our supplements unless we have to. Now, there are some people, I do genetic testing with people, I do reviews going through genetic. I use our 23andMe data. We go through and upload the different SNPs to different programs and look, and there are some people, I am one of them, has trouble with B vitamins. And so I do actually supplement with B vitamins, but I do a lot of research first. I make sure I'm using whole food B vitamins, and I have regular testing done. And when my blood markers are fine, see, in the School of Natural Healing, we don't believe in doing blood testing, but I do. I do my annual labs. And if everything's fine, then I don't need to be on supplements anymore. And that's another thing. We don't want someone to go on herbs or supplements, only supplement when absolutely necessary forever. Like, it's
Oh,
just something, it's a tool you use while you're getting the body into balance. And then once you're feeling good, your energy's good, your sleep is great, you're having your 3 bowel movements a day, your body temperature is right on par, right at 98.6. You can do all the things, your mind, there's no brain fog. Then you don't need all these herbs and supplements. Now, you could use them occasionally. I do drink bedtime tea. And so for me, I'm a very light sleeper, and it's just something that I've always struggled with my whole life. And so I do drink like a bedtime herbal tea. But I alternate them because your body can become sensitive to teas or sensitive to herbs. And so I do alternate them, but I don't know if it's more of a habit now or if it's something that I need. I think it's more of a habit. It's a nice warm cup of tea, and my body knows it's time to go to bed. And
yeah.
so that's just
That's
something
a
that I
pretty
like.
good habit, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And like I said, I rotate them. It's not anything that's going to be addictive or anything. It's just
Well,
my
that
herbs.
was that was a lot of good information. Yeah, because like you're saying, calorie restriction, and you have a hormone imbalance. If you're not eating enough food, you're not going to have any hormones. I mean, I think I read a study that was looking at people who were on calorie restricted diets for long term, and and there were certain chemical processes that the body just didn't do anymore. It's like, look, we got to keep this person alive, so today we don't need to make those hormones because I'm trying to keep this guy's heart pumping because, and how many people, especially, I don't want to pick on a group, but a lot of women, it's like mostly women, mostly are the people who restrict calories. I train too, and oh my God, I'll have women come in and I eat like 800 calories a day. I'm like, seriously?
Yeah. Yeah. And if you're coming into the gym too, you're adding stress on top of the too few calories.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you tell them to eat, and they're actually afraid. And then, of course, they're gonna have hormone imbalance, you know.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
I mean, I still say after all these years of study and working with people, the diet, man, you had to get that right.
You do. And keep the blood sugar in balance too. You
Yes.
cannot have balanced hormones if your blood sugar is out of control. And so for all of you listening, you need to, now this goes against the school of natural healing again, you need to know what your blood sugar is. You need to know what your A1C, ask your doctor to run an A1C. It's not something that is normally run on an annual exam. I don't know why. It's extremely
Uh,
important. It's very telling. But if you could just have that checked, even if it's just once a year, preferably twice a year, just to know where your blood sugar is. Because, like I said, your hormones cannot be in balance if your blood sugar is out of balance. It just can't happen. And so, if your blood sugar is off and you keep taking all the herbs and you keep doing what you're doing, it's not going to improve until you get the blood sugar under control.
well, that could be a whole nother video about how do we keep our blood sugar stable.
That's true. That's true. And there are herbs that can help with that too. And supplements. Yes, but we do want to make sure you're getting them through your food as much as possible. Yes, and something else we didn't talk about, this is not an I don't know, it's a superfood more than an herb, but your chia seeds and your flax seeds, and your hemp seeds, these are all algae, spirulina, chlorella. These are all omega-3s, um, and they help with inflammation. You have to have that under control too for
Ah,
hormone balance. So while they're
yes.
not herbs, they are very, very helpful. If you have not, if you have not played with, I love playing with my food, with chia seeds and hemp seeds and flax seeds, I strongly, strongly, strongly encourage you. Hemp seeds can come whole or unwhole. It doesn't matter. Chia seeds, you don't want to eat them dry, so make sure you plump them up because it's the same thing that's in the little chia pets. We can eat them. You can plant them in your yard and grow them. But you want to plump them up. So you can make like a chia gel, add water to them. A lot of us use that as our eggs, as an egg substitute, but you do want to plump it up somehow first. Put it in a salad dressing, put it in some water, put some milk, like almond milk or oat milk, and plump them up. They're kind of like, if you like sushi, it's like the eggs that were on the sushi. No, I don't eat that anymore, but I used to. That kind of pop in your mouth. Or like mine this morning, I blended it all together. So I made a chia gel and then I blended it with berries in my blender to make a blueberry, it was cherries too. Blueberry cherry chia pudding. It was delicious.
Wow.
But then you can blend it all up. Flax seeds, very, very, very hard shell. Remember, our seeds are made to be eaten, passed through an animal, usually a bird, and then they are deposited with the compost, right? Poop is compost. And then it grows another flax. Well, if we want the nutrients from it, we're going to have to crack that shell. So putting it through your blender. For me, I like to put flax seeds in a coffee grinder to grind them all up just so that I can get those omega-3s. Anyway, I strongly encourage everyone to incorporate those foods, chia seeds, hemp seeds, flax seeds, and put a little bit of spirulina or chlorella into your foods. They don't taste very good, only takes a smidgen, but you can get some pretty colors too. It can make a beautiful smoothie for you if you do that.
Good, good. That's yeah, I do a lot of flax. I used to do a lot of chia, but you get one of my favorites are the hemp hearts. I like those a lot.
Oh, yes.
And yeah, like Jennifer's saying, inflammation, man. Like we talk about that a lot. I think we probably have another podcast about inflammation because if you are inflamed, you cannot get well. It's another. I mean,
Right.
they're saying that inflammation is one of the leading causes of our heart disease, cancer, diabetes, Alzheimer, all these things.
Yeah.
So we have to live it. anti-inflammatory lifestyle.
Right, right. Well, and Alzheimer's links to blood sugar. You know, they're
Yep.
calling it type 3 diabetes. So it's another reason to have your blood sugar. Heart disease related to blood sugar. So it's a whole
Yeah.
nother reason that we want blood sugar. So it's really, for me, hormone balancing is blood sugar is key.
Yeah.
Blood sugar is key. And so that's something we look at. And your blood sugar is affected by your sleep, by your hydration, by your stress. And so it's not just the food. So we have to look at all of those things. Yeah,
Yeah. All comes full circle. We have to look at everything, and
right.
we can't live like we did when we were like, early 20s, like a lot of, a lot of people in the party phase and are doing all the things wrong.
Yes. And
So
that brings it, that's a point. That's a good point right there. So many people think, what switched? Why is this suddenly causing problems for me? But the body is amazing. The
oh,
body is amazing. It lets you eat this crap for years and years and years before it suddenly goes, you know what? We can't keep fixing this anymore. It's the example that I keep seeing. You get up and you bang your knee on the side table. You get up, you bang your knee. Oh, that hurt. You don't really notice it much. You just kind of kick your leg a little bit and it goes away. The next morning you bang your knee again. Well, now you have a bruise. The next morning you bang your knee again. The skin's broken. The next morning you bang your knee again. And so you can see it just gets worse and worse and worse until all of a sudden you have this huge open wound. Well, it's the same thing with us. We can eat the crap. We don't notice anything. We keep eating the crap. We start getting inflammation. We still don't notice anything until it gets to a certain point. That's me with the gluten.
yeah.
I had no idea gluten was causing any issues for me. And I even eliminated it for a month. I had my blood work. For those of you who don't know, I had autoimmune thyroid disease. Yes, I do say had. Um, and so I asked my doctor, does gluten have anything to do with it? She said no. And I was like, oh, I'm going to try it anyway. And I had blood work every month. And so I gave up my gluten, went back a month later, had the test done, my antibodies were still high. And I went, well, she was right. It wasn't the gluten. Then fast forward a few years, I decided went to a new doctor who said it is the gluten, but you have to go off of it longer. It can take 6 months. And sure enough, my antibodies finally went away. I had to give it up completely. But I also didn't know that I was still eating gluten, because gluten's not just in the bread, it's in your crackers, it's in your salad dressings, it's in soy sauce, it's just in so many different things. So when you do need to give up gluten, which if you have an autoimmune condition, then give up the gluten, for goodness sakes. Get rid of it. Gluten and dairy are not your friends. If you want to feel better, you want your antibodies to go down, get rid of them. Just get rid of them. I'm sick and tired of people saying, I'm just going to try it, or I'm just going to have a little bit, or I'm just going to give it up mostly. No,
Yeah.
you have to let it go. Gone. Give it up. Give your body time to repair, and then you'll start seeing your markers improve.
Yeah.
That was a whole nother topic, but
It's a good
autoimmune
topic.
is related to hormones too. So it's all
Because
related.
it reminds you, you say you see a lot of people when they get in their mid to late 40s to early 50s and they start having these health problems, and people go, well, it's just because you're getting older. I don't believe that. It's because you've been living the crap lifestyle since you were in your
Yes.
20s, and it finally caught up to you. So you never really get
Yes.
away with it. They used to tell me, well, Daniel, you're young, you can get away with eating all that pizza. No, I won't get away with it.
No, it's going to catch up to you eventually.
Yes.
Yeah, you're
And God
working
knows
out,
what
running all
happened.
the time. Yeah,
Yeah.
no. Yeah, for me, and even when you start eating better, it's not going to be completely repaired right away.
No.
I ate crap for 44 years. I have 44 years of drinking out of plastic water bottles, eating out of microwave plastic containers. I was putting black plastic in the microwave to heat up my lunches for years. I
Oh,
was running plastic through the dishwasher and refilling those water bottles and drinking them. I was leaving hot water bottles in the car and drinking it. So I've got tons of plastic that it's got to come out, right?
yeah.
And then I was eating cheeseburgers and I drank chocolate milk like I was never going to be able to have chocolate milk again. And
Yeah.
I baked bread and I baked pizza and I baked rolls and bagels every weekend and I ate them all the time. and so I have 44 years of that to
Hmm.
recover from. And just like when someone's pregnant, it takes 9 months of growing and increasing your body. It takes 9 months to recover. And so hopefully it doesn't take me 44 years to recover, but we'll see. And I did start eating healthier. We have those clients who say, I eat healthy. I thought I was eating healthy. Once I learned, then I was like, oh, and this is, I got, I got my master's back in 1998. So I don't know how old I was in. And so I did start eating better. I learned about nutrition, but we know, because you took the classes too,
Uh-huh.
that what we learn isn't exactly what's optimal for our body.
No.
And so it took me that many more years to learn how to actually put it into place and eat the healthier foods and make those final tweaks for optimal nutrition. Anyway, get off my soapbox.
That's a good soapbox, because if you're out there and you decide today I want to go on a routine to get my health back. You cannot put a time frame on it. People ask me how long. Look, I'm not a fortune teller. You just need to do the work. Do the work, eat the plant-based foods, get the sleep, get the water, do all the things that we suggest, and give it and be patient.
Yes. 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 Well, do you have anything else to add for hormone balancing?
No, I think we covered a lot. So
I think
it'd
we did
probably be
too.
redundant at this point.
Yes. Well, thank you everyone for joining us this week. If you like this episode, please let us know. If you don't like it, let us know too. We like to hear from you. We want to be able to provide information for you that supports you and helps you on your health journey. Thank you for joining us.